Suppose a boy or a girl in your college does not like you, someone with whom you have no real need to talk. Now if he or she dislikes you for a reason or maybe for no reason, whatever may be, in this case the best solution could be to simply ignore. But suppose if your boss in your office does not like you, or the teacher in your college who is going to decide whether you are going to pass or fail, then in this scenario ignoring him or her is not at all a good solution. So here can be two types of scenario. Number 1, someone whom you can ignore, and number 2, someone whom you cannot ignore. Whom you can ignore is not a problem, but the problem is whom you cannot ignore. So what should I do in that case? This is what I am going to share with you in this video. So let's get started. Whom you cannot ignore, in that case your first job is to find out why that person dislikes you. Now the reason can be of two types. Number 1, which you can change, and number 2, which you cannot change. For example, suppose your boss dislikes you because your skin tone is dark. Your boss is a kind of racist. Then here in this case you cannot do anything, because this is not your problem, this is a mental problem of your boss. So what should you do then? Should you do makeup and then go to office? Maybe that would also not be the best solution. In that case, most of us react negatively and start to hate the person who dislikes us, which is not at all a solution, even it can make things worse. As Martin Luther King once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. That's why in this scenario you have to figure out what that person likes most. Maybe he or she loves to eat, or maybe when someone wants to learn something from him or her, he or she becomes very happy. You have to observe that person very carefully to find out all these things. And then you have to use those things as bet to win that person's heart. To do this, you have to overcome 3 stages. Firstly, that person may try to ignore you, but still if you persist, then that person may laugh at you or make fun of you to insult you. 90% people quit here. But if you still persist, because you know this is your need, then in the next stage he may start to reject you. For example, you may request him, "Sir, I want to learn this thing from you." He may reply, "Sorry, I am currently busy, please come to me later." But still after getting insulted, rejected, if you can persist, then only you can truly win that person's heart. It's not like that if you just throw the bet in the water, you will instantly catch the fish. No, you have to be patient. Then only you will be able to catch the fish. Because remember, here the need is yours, so it is you who need to have patience. Now suppose if someone dislikes you because you don't maintain a well hygiene, you consume alcohol, smoke cigarette, or maybe your crush have rejected you because you are so fat, or maybe someone dislikes you because you are very short-tempered. Means if the reason is something like that, which if you want you can change and the change is also good for you, then take that reason as a challenge and use that energy to change yourself. To change yourself that much that your crush who had rejected you because you were fatty, now herself comes to you to talk with you. And when he or she will come, remember one thing carefully, don't show any sign of arrogance then, because if you do that, you will fail to win her. If you accept that person politely, only then you will win that person, and that person's dislike will be permanently converted into like. But if you end up showing arrogance, then not only the dislike will never be converted into like, but also the intensity of disliking will go higher. So if your main aim is to win that person, then be careful about the final step, because remember, this is a very sensitive one. So let's quickly recap what you should do if someone dislikes you. First of all, see if you have any real need with that person. If not, then simply ignore that person, because there is no meaning in wasting time and energy. But if the need is yours, then find out why that person dislikes you. If the reason is something which is impossible to change, then ignore that disliking and figure out what that person likes the most and use those things as baits to win that person's heart. And if the reason is something which you can change and also the change is good for you, then accept that reason as a challenge and change yourself. At last, a little request to you. If you find this video useful, then please share it with your friends, because by sharing, you can also help to change someone's life. Next video is on the next Sunday. Thanks for watching. More wisdom, more solution, better life.